Good afternoon, this is Taylor, also known as Chrome Angel on BlackPlanet.com. The date is Tuesday, May 17th, 2011. I just got finished reading something on the internet regarding the United States discontinuing its 24-hour monitoring of radiation levels out in Japan, where a couple of months ago there was the earthquake and tsunami, and it completely wrecked the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, nuclear power plant, out in, Fukushima Prefecture, out in Japan. It's near the coast. I'm sure everyone's heard about it, but there's more information coming out, but not by the mainstream media, of course, that says that the situation is actually getting worse. Again, I read something earlier. I can't cite the place right now, forgive me for that, but it'll probably make its way through mainstream outlets eventually, that the United States has discontinued its 24-hour radiation monitoring in the area, which I take it to believe that before we were using Geiger counters or things of that nature. I'm a novice, and we were monitoring how much radiation was coming out of the affected reactors out there in Fukushima. But now it's being said that I guess things are slowly stabilizing out there, so we don't need to monitor the radiation anymore. And you say that things are slowly stabilizing, which means that things have not completely stabilized yet. It's not stabilized, but it's slowly getting to that point. Yeah, so if it's not there yet, then we should be monitoring it still, but we're not. And it's why? You know? A couple of months ago, maybe a month ago, I think it was in Commonwealth of Massachusetts, they were saying how the amount of radioactive iodine that have been recorded so far coming over into the States from Japan is, what was it, 25 times lower than the limit. Or you rarely hear stuff like that, but I think it was measuring radioactive iodine. And radioactive iodine has a half-life of 8 days. So if you're thinking about radiation coming from the damaged reactors all the way out in Japan, how long does it take the current system to bring that stuff over into the States? You know, from the West Coast over into the East, hitting California and British Columbia first, and then making its way through the Midwest, and then eventually, passing over the East Coast of the U.S. How long does it take for that to happen? If it takes more than 8 days for, released radioactive iodine to make it here from over there, then we still have to deal with it being effective. If it takes more than 8 days, then I guess we don't have to worry about it so much, because by the time it gets over to us, it'll be ineffective. It's like I said, its half-life is 8 days. But you also have other radioactive isotopes out there, like a couple of brands of cesium, 134 and 137 or 132, and one of those, and the half-life of one of the cesiums is 3 years, where the other one is like 30 or something like that, roughly. What about that stuff? Is that coming over here too? Because if that's coming over here, then we don't have to worry about iodine. We have to worry about this other stuff. I don't know if there's such a thing as a non-harmful dose of radiation. The people out in Japan, who knows for how long they're going to have cancer patients coming up because of that. I mean, the place is it's messed up. Especially in light of the earthquake and the tsunami that followed, which led to the entire collapse of that one reactor, which started the domino effect that affected the other reactors. And it was like, what, 4 to 5 reactors were breached, and there were meltdowns at least 3 reactors. But we're finding this stuff out officially from, TEPCO, the people that run the reactors out in Japan. That was like 16 hours after the original shutdown was this stuff happening. So we're finding out like a couple of months later. Thanks. I can't call it. The EPA said that they weren't recording radioactive data in the United States, and at one point they were saying that they didn't have all of the recording devices working properly. But why? I don't get it. You know, you've got iodine, cesium, plutonium, and plutonium. That's, I mean, damn. And then something called Mox Fuel, and I don't even know what that is, but it sounds messed up. So it's stuff's coming over, but no one's saying anything about it. We're not even reading the stuff anymore, I guess. Why wouldn't we? I'm not feeling that. But I guess out of sight, out of mind, and the media moves on. You know, now they're talking about this IMF dude, Dominic Strauss something, and he's in Rikers right now for allegedly raping or attempting to rape, sexually assault, I believe, a maid in a hotel that he was staying at, like $3,000 a night hotel. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but he couldn't get a prostitute. What's really good? Come on. But whatever. I don't want to spend that much time on him either. So there's other stuff going on in the world. But I just really wanted to focus on, you know, radiation and radioactivity. And I know very little about it, you know, but if what the media is saying in one sense is that these things can be dangerous, but now they're saying that no, they're not dangerous, you know, there's healthy radiation and stuff like that, and come on. You know, I don't believe in the media and stuff like that now as it is, whatever they say. But I'm supposed to believe that, you know, levels are approaching stability, even though Japan just said that, you know, what they were trying to do with the reactors that have been damaged, where it would take them like a year or a couple of years to finally get it, you know, so they can cold shut it, or I don't know what it is, but it will take them a certain amount of time to get things back to normal. You know what I'm saying? But they said that's not working, so they're going to try something different. But yeah, they're still on track. Wow. Just wow. That's all I have to say for this one. We'll see if that works. But if anyone has any information on what to look for in terms of radiation, things of that nature, where to go to get your information from, because honest to God, the EPA, these are the same people that said that the ground zero air was good to breathe after the towers came down. That wasn't true. So EPA saying that, you know, we don't have to worry about radiation in the country. You know, the first thing I'm going to do is worry about radiation in the country. It's kind of like when Japan was talking to their people after the tsunami and earthquake, not in that order, and all the destruction and the radioactive release from the nuclear power plants. They were telling people to stay indoors. And mainstream corporate media kept reporting, yeah, they've been told to stay indoors, and here you see like just people in droves just leaving. They're getting out of Dodge. The government said do A, the people said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do B. So yeah, they don't believe it either. Wow. So yeah, that's something that I'm trying to think about lately. You know, Fukushima Daiichi and what's going on with radiation. Let's see how that works.